All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're here on a special Saturday to talk about Blue Ridge Rock Festival artist announcements. My name is Bernard Cana. I'm the editor-photographer for the website known as The Photo Pit. Over to my right. Yes, it is to my right. Every time I'm looking, I see him on my left, but it is actually to my right. On my right is Danny Mazzeo. He is, can I call you editor? Would that work? Does that make sense? Editor,
yeah.
photographer, jack of all trades for The Threshold. His new outlet that he's doing to continue the same thing that I'm doing on mine. So we're here once again to talk about artist announcements. I do want to stop before we go any further and say two things. Number one, on a more serious note, everyone knows what's going on in the world today. It's not pleasant. I don't like what I'm seeing. That's my personal opinion. But we want to send out our love, thoughts, prayers to Ginger and everyone that's over in the Ukraine that's right now going through that. And I'm leaving politics out of this. I am never a fan about talking about politics. We'll get into very heated debates. I don't want to do it. It's not here, but I do want to send my love out to them. And I know Danny does too. And we're just thinking of them right now and hoping this gets resolved, peacefully, with little harm to anyone. And just we got to move on for stuff like this in the world. That's just my opinion. I'm done. That's it. That's number one. So number two,
I got to add my words. I mean, you can't just jump right on. So
I know.
I am just going to piggyback on that and share pretty much the exact same sentiments. So to Ginger, to all of our friends and family that have any men, women in service, anybody that's impacted in any way, I think this is hitting all of us in a really real, tangible way that is probably unprecedented in a lot of ways for most of us as well. And so just know that we are thinking, we're praying for all of you and really hoping for the best for everybody. So appreciate the opportunity to have a few words on that.
Absolutely. All right. Point number two, getting back to more focused talks and discussions. I want to remind everyone, because Danny asked me to remind everyone. So if you are looking for the most up-to-date info, and this is important, most up-to-date info, give me 1 second, on the Blue Ridge Rock Festival lineup. Two places that you want to go. Number one, go to blueridgerockfest.com. This would work here. Come on, work for me. Why are you not working? blueridgerockfest.com/lineup. That is going to show you the listing of all 169. I'm correcting Danny because he realized that he needed to be corrected. It's 169 artists that are going to be there for 2022 between September the 8th to September the 11th. 4 days, 5 stages, epic pre-party for those in camping only. I'm jealous. 3 club experiences. So, go there to go see, the lineups as they're coming through. You want to go see the announcements, go to the official Blue Ridge Rock Festival Facebook page. You'll see the announcements that are dropped every day. They provide in each artist announcement more details on when the next one's going to be. But we just want to make sure that we point you guys over to there and to make sure you know where to find your most recent, fastest information is going to be there. If you want to find other information in general about the festival, always the website for blueridgerockfest.com, the Facebook page for the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. And if you just want to ask your fellow people, then you want to go to the Blue Ridge Rock Festival fan zone, 35,000 plus members led by Todd Stone. Thank you much, Todd, for that. Go there to go find, your basic information from what other people, like if you're looking just for help from general campers or from
your family.
Yeah, your family. I mean, that's what it is. So, but we wanted to call those out. Danny asked if we'd do that, and we could absolutely do that. We'll always do it for you guys. So just keep in mind. Amanda says she was ordering pizza and she forgot. Okay, thanks, Amanda. See, this is why I like being able to see what's going on in there too. All right, Amanda, if you want to still pop on anytime that's open, just jump on in, and I'll see you come in, and I'll add you. I'll get you through the door in the waiting room. So we ready for talk about art? She's angry. Oh, that's funny. So we ready to talk about artist announcements?
Man, I'm ready. I was ready since the first announcement yesterday, so I'm ready.
Okay, so I guess we'll start off like we always do. Right, so we're going to go to today on this live stream. We're going to talk about Friday's announcements. We're going to talk about the 2 announcements from today. We're not going to hit the third one because I don't think we're going to stay on here for another 3 hours to wait for that photo to pop on. Who knows? Maybe we might. I don't think we will. But so we're going to talk about at least the 5 artists that got dropped, between yesterday and today. And so you guys see me get excited for Ginger, right? Everyone remember that? Danny, do you remember me? What my excitement for Ginger? Right? The first band that got announced on Friday probably exceeds my love for Ginger, because this band from Virginia, West Virginia.
Richmond,
I want to make sure I get that right? From Virginia, from Richmond, Virginia. This band, the first time I got to hear them, just blew my mind. The first time I got to see and photograph them totally blew my mind. And I was just like, this is a band I will never, ever, 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 ever miss. Anytime that they're going to be at a festival, anytime they're going to be in town, anytime, whatever. Just not going to happen. That band, and I think everyone knows who I'm talking about, is Lamb of God. Now, Lamb of God last year, when they hit Blue Ridge, made such an impact. It was ridiculous. If you were not at that pit, I'm sorry. If you were not in that crowd, I'm sorry. But when you miss, I got to tell the story. When we were in the pit photographing it, after song 2, Randy, lead singer of Lamb of God, they're at the URW stage, and I'm going to use some graphic here. Right? The URW stage was here, and there's the Monster Energy. I think it was Monster Energy stage, right? That was over to the side of URW. So you had a crowd of people that were over on this side towards when I was facing the stage to my left, watching another band on the Monster stage. That band was Cedar. Randy, after song 2, goes running across the stage to the other side to the Cedar fans and yells at them through the mic, "If you want to see a real rock show, come over here." And I nearly died.
And it's nothing against Cedar. I love Cedar. They are a fun band.
Cedar whatsoever. Nothing against
Cedar but it's whatsoever. Not Lamb of God.
Oh, and I laughed. I laughed so hard. It's like, that's the type of stuff that happens at the Lamb of God show.
That's right.
It's what it is. Pyro, oh my gosh. Pyro jumps, heavy metal.
So the energy is just unreal.
It's off the chain.
It's a zero gravity stage, basically, because none of them stay on the ground. It's just amazing. It
absolutely is. Yeah, it's nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. So, but let's quickly go through a little bit about Lamb of God for those who don't know about them. And if you don't know about them, I'm telling you right now, like if you're listening and watching this live stream and you do not know who Lamb of God is, go take your phone right now, go pick up whatever streaming system you use and go punch them in and listen to something, because this band is just on God for metal, off the chain. All right, Richmond, Virginia. They formed back in 1994, originally under a band name called Burn the Priest. That's when they first came out. Before they decided at some point to change it to Lamb of God. And that happened right after 1989. Their first self-titled album came out as Burn the Priest, and then they flipped over. From that point forward, they ended up having New American Gospel was the first one as Lamb of God in 2000, as Palaces Burn in 2003, Ashes of the Wake, fantastic album, in 2004, Sacrament in 2006, Wrath in 2009, Resolution in 2012, Number 7 Sturm und Drang, great album. Then they released one called Legion XX, but they actually did that under the title of Burn the Priest. And if I remember correctly, I think it's a cover album.
I think you're right.
I remember that correctly.
I think you're right on that.
Yeah. And then after that, just 2 years ago in 2020, their first self-titled album, Lamb of God. And as much as I really love that album, I don't know if I'd say it's like their best work, but I really do love that album. That last one is solid.
I think it's safe to say that they don't have any albums that aren't top notch.
No, they do not have an album that sucks. Period. They don't. They just don't. Yep. It's just you want angst, you want emotion, you want let loose mosh pit music. Lamb of God is it. And I would say out of any of the bands I've probably ever seen, I have never seen a mosh pit at any festival or at any concert that gets crazier than a Lamb of God one. Not even close. If someone thinks there's one better, tell me, but I don't think you'll find one.
So do we need to take a moment and talk about one of their most famous or infamous mosh moves? No, I'm thinking about the wall.
You talk about it. Yes, please do.
So
Because yeah,
I would be shocked if most people that go to these festivals are not aware of the moshing scene as a whole. Inevitably, there's still one or two people that when the crowd parts, they just stand there like, oh, this is kind of cool. Well, Lamb of God has this wonderful way about them where they part the crowd. And you just hear that nasty buildup. And then when Randy says go, you're watching Braveheart amongst thousands of metalheads coming at each other in the most ultimate rush of the Wall of Death. They were the first band I've seen actually do that at a show. I know they're not the only band that does that, but it is incredible. It is just an adrenaline rush beyond measure.
They're amazing. It's so amazing. Amy Jo challenges Hatebreed, and as much as I love Hatebreed, I mean I really do love Hatebreed. I don't know. I still think LOG has a crazier crowd. Just my opinion. Devil Driver, there's a good ones too. So Michael, yeah, I agree with you on that. But any case, well, Lamb of God, they're coming back. If you already got your tickets for the festival, put that band on your list. Do not miss. Yep. Swear, do not. If you do, I'm not friends with you anymore. Just that simple. All right. Next one. The next band that got announced is actually, I won't say they're one. I really like this band. I don't want to say they're one of my favorite bands because I don't regularly listen to them in my playlist, and I don't know why I don't. I mean, because I really do like their music. And correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, but wasn't MMF there last year? Because I can't remember what that lineup of how big it was.
I don't believe they were there last year. They were there. They were there in 2019.
In 2019. What about 2021? Yes.
So
no. Maybe. Amanda, do you remember? Oh, look, she decided to join.
Michael Asher is kind enough to say 2019. Mike, thank you for keeping us honest here.
Okay, fair enough. Hello, Amanda.
Let her connect.
She there? Are you there? Or do you have pizza in your mouth?
Connect.
I can't wait. I'm impatient. Thank you, Amanda, for confirming 2019. Okay, right. So this is a returning band, but not from last year, but from 2019's Blue Ridge Rock Festival. Metacore band formed out of Denton, Texas. They're currently signed to Rise Records. They have some great music. And if you've not seen them before, I do strongly recommend seeing them in concert because I really do like their music. And that band is Memphis Mayfire. What I love about Memphis Mayfire is just the energy, and if they're playing like in a venue, they have a beautiful light show that goes around with the stuff that they play and do. But if you're seeing them at a festival, their energy on stage is top notch. You know, vocals out of Maddie Mullins is just amazing. I really do like this band. Out of some just history behind them, they formed back in, where to find this here, around 2006, 2007. They have currently 6 studio albums that are out. Sleepwalking was their first. That came out in 2009. The Hollow in 2011. That's when they signed with Rise Records, and they've been with them ever since. Obviously, the label believes in them strong enough to keep re-signing them on for the records that they're doing. And the first time when they signed to Rise, they hit the Billboard 200. On the actual 200. That's, for those who don't know, the Billboard 200 is like the album sale tracker to be on. If you hit that list, it doesn't even matter if you're like number 200, it's a big deal. With the amount of music that's out there today, if you think about that, right? If you're in the top 200 bands or album sales at that week, that's saying something. So they made the 200 on the Hollow at 130. Challenger, their next album in 2012, hit number 16 at its peak on the Billboard 200. That's pretty sweet. Unconditional in 2014 hit number 4, and it peaked at number 1 on the Billboard US rock charts. Now that's saying something.
That is an accomplishment in and of itself, a huge one.
Yeah. So then you had This Light I Hold, that was in 2016, Broken in 2018, and now soon in June of 2022, how convenient, right before Blue Ridge Rock Festival. we're going to have their next album. It's called Remade in Misery. So that's going to be released this June in 2022. Yeah, and they do have a couple of EPs that they also came out with. Their self-titled EP was Memphis May Fire in 2007, and another one called Between the Lies in 2010. So they have tons of content that's out there. I do recommend, giving them a listen to see if their Metacore is a style of music that you like. I like them. They're just not my playlist currently. I don't know why, but I do like them. I'm glad for this one. I think it's a great pick for Blue Ridge to add on. Danny, what do you have?
Not much more to tag onto that other than I was extremely giddy about seeing that lineup drop. I really was. When first time I actually really saw them, because I think they've been playing festivals for a while at this point, right? But first time I really got to just enjoy them was 2019, and I'm so glad that I stopped and I watched their set. The energy was incredible. They sounded great. I had an opportunity to talk to Maddie for a little bit, and I mean, just one of the nicest guys, just humble as could be, genuinely cared about, how's everything going? Like, didn't want to just say, hey, thanks for being here, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just a really cool experience, really cool guy. I'm just really excited to see them added.
Yeah, me too. Amanda, do you like Memphis? I'm assuming they're metalcore.
I love Memphis May Fire. Yeah, they were a good time in 2019. He's not wrong.
All right. Yeah, I think they'll be a great ad. They're going to be a great ad. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. That's a band that's going to elevate, the fans during the whatever day they're playing. They'll love them. People will love them. Absolutely.
And we're definitely getting some love for them in the comments on our stream right now, which is great. So yeah, Ashley, Michael, Mike, thank you. Love that you're supporting them as well.
Oh my God.
Good, you should. I want Amanda to talk about the next one to kick us off, because this is a band that Amanda announced yesterday that I missed, unfortunately, because I was already at Universal heading over to the show. So Amanda, talk about the next band that's coming up that was on the list for yesterday.
Who was it? Please refresh me.
The one you announced.
Oh, Hawthorne Heights.
Yeah.
Tell us about Hawthorne Heights.
I don't know everything that you know. I mean, obviously, I would assume that they're from Ohio.
They are. They're
hey.
from Ohio. Dayton.
Context,
Dayton,
please. Context, please.
Well,
no, they're great. I really liked them in high school when I was like super angsty. I mean, I'm still pretty angsty, but I was really angsty in high school.
I was gonna say, so why was this band the one that you wanted to announce yesterday? Like, what was so exciting for you about them to announce them on?
I really like all of the old school emo, like metalcore bands. It's a nostalgia thing, I think.
Okay.
And you don't see them, I don't think, on many festivals right now, because like the emo thing's starting to like come full circle, right? So
yeah,
you're seeing like Avril Lavigne again and things like that. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
By the way,
cool.
she just dropped a new album and it's amazing too.
She did. That's right. I forgot about that.
With the new Bad Omens album.
That's great. Okay. So I'll give you some of the background. I thought this one was weird. The just the Google stuff that you always find. Like, they list them as rock, and I don't know if I call them rock. I don't know. I kind of do lean more towards the alt. Like, I feel like they're more the alt rock. I don't know. I wouldn't just call them straight rock. But in any case, Hawthorne Heights formed in 2001. They're out of Dayton, Ohio. They used to be known as A Day in the Life before they changed their name over. They have their discography was pretty large. I was surprised by this, and I didn't realize like how many albums they actually have out. So their first one was dropped in 2004 called The Silence in Black and White. Then in 2006 you have If Only You Were Lonely. 2008 was Fragile Future. 2010 was one called Skeletons. 2013 Zero. In 2014 they had a redo of The Silence in the Black and White as an acoustic. Then in 2018, a big gap there, about 4 years worth, was Bad Frequencies. And just last year, their last album that they dropped was The Rain That Just Follows Me. I have unfortunately not seen them live. I've heard some of their stuff, not as much as I probably would like to. They were actually here in Orlando and I couldn't make that show. I had a conflict. I had someone else cover the show for me. And the photographer, his name is Rob. He actually shoots for the website I used to work for, which is Dread Music Review. Go check those guys out too. And Rob's a great photographer. He's amazing. He was at Blue Ridge last year with us. But the pictures he got of Hawthorne was like just stellar. It was absolutely stellar. But yeah, he said they put on a great show. He wrote a really nice review about them. So I was happy that he liked them. So yeah, I'm keen for this because I haven't had a chance to see them yet. So I'm good. I like this one. Danny, anything to add?
I think this just continues to show the diversity of the lineup so far. You know, I'm a fan. I have seen bits of them along the way. I've listened to them periodically. I don't know that they've ever been major on the rotation, but I've never been one to change the station from them. Right. But I think when I saw their announcement, particularly after Memphis, Mayfire, and Lamb of God, it just continues to hammer home just how broad this festival is going to be. And that alone continues to hype me up. Because, again, you know, you've got the emo metalcore side of things. You've got Lamb of God.
Yeah.
All at the same festival. I mean, it's just, I'm that alone, I'm stoked.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do like what, you know, Jonathan has put together so far with the releases of, you know, everyone from, you know, here's Lamb of God, here's Ginger, here's Hawthorne, you know, Memphis May Fire now. It's a really nice blend of things. And the one thing I do like about this is that, you know, and I think, you know, Amanda said it right, is that you don't normally see bands like Hawthorne Heights on a festival lineup, because festivals usually are sticking these days to a lot of rock and metal, you know, and if it wasn't Warped Tour right now, yeah, right. If it wasn't Warped Tour, you don't see that, you know. And I'm thinking of other bands like, and I'm not saying these bands are coming. I'm just naming bands off the top of my head, like The Story So Far, Story of the Year. You know, these are bands that you'd see on Warped Tour, but you wouldn't necessarily see them on a festival lineup regularly today. So I like this, you know. I think this is good. Like, you know, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, right? I mean, they're a band that you wouldn't normally see on a festival lineup. So I mean, this is cool. I like this. It's a good blend. Let's see what's going on here.
Let's go to the opposite side of the blend. Let's go to the opposite side of the blend, because again, you go from Hawthorne Heights to this next band, and Bernard, I'm gonna let you. I mean, you look like you're ready to burst already with talking about these guys.
I think I'm really excited for this. Like, I don't know this band as much as I'd like to. That's the only thing for me. But I think it was the fact, because of the genre that it was, which blew my mind, that it's being added to Blue Ridge. Because this is, I'll say this, I'd have to go look at other festival lineups to see if someone would ever add this band to it. Like, there's like one particular festival I can think of that's more geared to this side of music, that's kind of close in relation to location of where Blue Ridge is. And you guys probably know which one I'm talking about. You know, because metal is their thing. That's their focus. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, like this one really shocked me. I'll be honest. I love the pick. I think fans are going to go ballistic, you know, especially the real, you know, hardcore heavy metal fans, and more like, how about the deathcore metal fans? Because that's the style of music we're kind of leaning towards here. This band is out of New Jersey, you know, where there's so many good metal bands came out of this area up there anyway. They're formed around from 2008. They're currently signed to Nuclear Blast Records, and Nuclear Blast loves their metal. They love their hardcore death force metal bands.
They have a niche on that all day long.
They do
so
it
well.
Well. Yeah, and I love it. And this band right now is kind of hot on the market. You know, I've seen them currently like being announced on tours, you know, and people are really excited about them. So with that being said, the band that was announced this afternoon that's coming to Blue Ridge Rock Festival 2022 is Fit for an Autopsy. Holy bleep. I was like, wow. Oh, I am. I'm excited for this one. I love this pick.
I am too.
I absolutely love it.
And not that I want to stir the proverbial pot from the fan zone, but there's been a lot of comments of where's the heavy stuff, right, in the fan zone. And so
there you go, people.
There's been some heavy stuff already announced, and this to me was just icing on the cake for that. Like, we hear you, we know what you guys are looking for, and to me, this is some cream of the crop of here we go, let's do this.
I would say, when you talk about that for a second, let me talk a little bit about their discography real quick, just to go through what they've had out so far. Like I said, they came about around in 2008. Their first album was in 2011 called The Process of Human Extermination. Like, if that doesn't sound deathcore, what is? Hellbound in 2013, Absolute Hope, Absolute Hell in 2015, The Great Collapse in 2017, The Sea of Tragic Beasts. I've heard that's a really good album. And those of you who love this type of genre of metal, if you haven't listened to it, I recommend go listening to that, because anyone I know who likes, like, I have a friend who's like so into this type of music and saying that that album, The Sea of Tragic Beasts, was solid. And then the most recent one that came out in just this past January is Oh, What the Future Holds. And just so people are aware, so when they started off, they were with the label in 2011 called Black Market Activities. They were then with E1 Music for the next 3 albums. And E1, I'm trying to think how I could, with like the bands I know that they sign, I find, and this is personal opinion, I don't know any insider information. I find they're very particular about the artists they sign, under their music label. Like, they really look at winners to me. Like Pop Evil's with the E1, if that doesn't say anything, right? I mean, look how extremely popular that band is and how big they are. So I always found that they're very particular. So the fact that they had picked up Fit for an Autopsy and kept them on their label for 3 albums, I think is a huge testament to them and the music that they produce. And then Nuclear Blast picked them up in the 2019 album. And I think Nuclear Blast will just keep them forever, because, these guys know what they're doing. But yeah, it's like, wow, and what I wanted to say is, like, just looking at some of the, like, I'm looking at the website of like the lineups of announcements we had so far, right? Between Killswitch and Anthrax and Ginger, and In Flames. I mean, when you talk about, and even with Lamb of God, when you talk about heavy, right? Like that deathcore sound stuff, Fit for an Autopsy may be the heaviest band on the lineup as of right now.
I think you're right
now.
Yeah, like I said, as of right now.
All right, I'm over here crushing this pizza, so I'm just hearing your words, honestly.
I mean, Suicide Silence is up there, but I still think that Fit is more. I mean, and I love Suicide Silence. No offense, guys, I really do love your music. I feel like Fit right now is like, they're the heavier sound going right now.
I've never really gotten into them, honestly.
To who? Fit for an Autopsy?
Yeah, I should probably check out more of their stuff, though.
You should.
I probably would like them.
I think you should. That's just, my opinion. You should.
I just get in moods like there will be like 4 months straight and I'll just listen to nothing but Bad Flower, and then it's like I'll listen to nothing but indie music for a couple months, and then it's just straight metal for a couple months, and then we're over here to Harry Styles. Like, I'm all over the place.
Yeah. All right. So good. I mean, I'm like that too at times. Like I lock in a band and stick with it for a while, and then
like a genre. You're just in that mood.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to get that.
I've been in a metal mood lately, though, so I'll check them out.
Yeah. Blow out your eardrums. They'll do.
All right.
They'll do.
Time to recover.
Proceed with caution.
Here we go. All right. Should we talk about the last one? And this is, I don't know what to make about this one. I love it, but I'm kind of like, I think I love it. I don't know. I think, and it's not, I don't think it's a bad pick. I think it's, will the attendees jive with this? I think my answer is yes, they will. I think they'll love them as their, as the performance goes on. But this one was very interesting. So this band, it's the first time they're playing in the US in 9 years. They are very different than I think what people are expecting when they hear who this is, if you haven't seen the announcement yet. They define them as German metalcore. And I'm like, I don't know if that's quite accurate to me. Because they're really known for their more comedic side, right, in their performances than anything else, right? And as much as I've never seen them yet, so I'm kind of excited to see them. It's just like I think fans will like them. I just don't know if they'll get it, if that makes sense, right? If this will click with them. But the band that we're talking about here is Eskimo Callboy, and when I saw this, I was like, oh. I like this because what I like about this one is that this is a whole different genre altogether to me than anything else that's been announced so far, right? I mean, you can call them metalcore, but I really feel like this is kind of like left field out there that people
They're like the
weren't expecting.
they're like the Weird Al of metalcore.
Yeah,
Which is cool,
right.
I
You know
dig
what?
it.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I dig it. I
Um,
like when bands go against like the social norms and they just do their own thing. It's really
and
cool.
that's what they do. Yeah, that's
They
what they
do.
do.
Like they give the finger to everything you should expect out
Yeah.
of
I have a
anything.
metalcore band.
They take metalcore, they take pop, they take rock, you name it. They give it all the finger, they throw it in a blender, and then they come out in jumpsuits.
But then they're like wearing like neon colors and stuff. And I'm
Right.
not like into them. I just appreciate that so much out of bands when they do stuff like that. I love it.
Bernard, who are we even talking about right now?
Eskimo Callboy.
Oh yeah, we
Eskimo
didn't even
Callboy.
say the name.
Yeah, we didn't even give in the name
You
yet.
didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. I did say it. I did call it out.
I'm sorry. I should pay more attention to you when you speak.
It's all right. It's all good. So they formed back in 2010. They've been around for a while. They have 5 albums, 2 EPs. So album release in 2012 is called Bury Me in Vegas. 2014 is We Are the Mess. Now we're going to talk a little bit about a different Billboard charts because these are the international ones. And from what the way they track, at least in the US, when we track them, we only track them by country apparently. From what Billboard tracks, it's like basically like the German charts, you know, the Austrian charts. That's the way they're looking at them. We Are a Mess hit number 8 on their peak. That's a pretty big deal. 2015 was Crystals. That made it to number 6 at the top. 2017 did the same with The Scene. That made it to number 6. And then the last album they put out was in 2019 called Rehab, and that hit number 16 at their peak of the German charts. Their EPs that they had 2. One of them is self-titled Eskimo Callboy in 2010, and then a recent one in 2020 that's known as MMXX, which is Roman numerals for 2020. So, yeah, I like I said, I like this idea of them coming. I like this concept. You know, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like Steel Panther to me in a sense, right? I mean, Steel Panther likes to do this 80s rock glam stuff, who doesn't take it very seriously in their own sense. Like they love doing their performances, but it's more of a stage presence, you know, and a performance that's a mix of the artistry, the comedic, and the music that's blended together. And that's what I'm getting this vibe from Eskimo Callboy is that kind of thing.
I think that's a great way to put it, Bernard. I really do. You know, they have incredible talent. I don't think you can argue that, but you could tell that even though they see that, they use that as leverage to play into the theatrics, the life is just too short, so let's have a party kind of atmosphere. And I know you're not necessarily as sold. I think you're excited, but you're not as sold. I am absolutely beside myself, ecstatic. Like I cannot say enough about them. And my friend Thomas, who is actually hanging out with us right now on the as one of our viewers, he had stumbled across these guys, I guess, a couple of years ago, and sent it in a group chat, and we were all just hooked. We went down the rabbit hole, and we can't get enough of these guys. And now they've been putting out video after video, song after song, and when these guys were announced, I lost it. My kids know that I lost it. We'll put it that way.
Okay. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to say I'm not sold because I like the idea of them coming. I like the idea they're going to perform. It's I guess because it's so out there, you know, it is so, you know, we're talking about how Blue Ridge has been blending all these genres together and that they're not just focusing on rock metal. And this is proof of that. You know, it's just, this one to me is like, it's left field out there, which like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm good with this, you know, just, like I said, I don't know enough about them. I will listen to them, you know, as I always promise I will listen to them and give them a chance and see what I think, you know, but I think fans will like it. I hope fans will like it.
Watch their videos more than you listen to them. And I think you will holistically get a better feel for who they are and what to expect.
Okay.
I have not seen them. I have not seen any of their live performances, but I can only imagine that what they bring is very similar to how they go about their music videos.
Has anyone watching seen them live at all? If so, can you comment and Tell me what
There
they're
was
like.
somebody I think that saw them a couple times. Or maybe that was
I see. Thomas said Thomas says he likes them. Michael says they're exciting. Okay.
I don't really know too much about them, but I think it's just going to be fun. They just seem fun.
All right. Like I said, I'll give it a watch and see, and we'll I'll hold opinions because, like I said, I don't know, but I mean, I like this idea of having a band like this at the festival. So I think that's like I said, what I'm hoping is that we don't see. I've already started to see it again, in the fan zone of people saying like, oh, well, it's not this music. Why are they even here? Like, I don't like a band like, and like, you don't like a band like that, don't go see them, right? I mean, it's like, that's the great,
they'll live.
I mean, but that's the great thing about this festival when you have so many artists that are going to be there. You have so many opportunities to see the bands.
People were commenting on Hawthorne Heights, like, okay, where's the heavy? And I'm looking at the full lineup and I'm like, we got your heavy. You know what I mean? Like, just chill. If they're getting announced, they're coming, Don't, and like, I saw one guy in the fans and that was like, oh, this is turning into a pop rock festival.
It is. That's not what I see so far.
You know what I mean? Like, you just see little things like this, and it happens every single year. We see it every year.
I know. But that's my message has been like ever since we started doing these, right? Like give it a chance. Give it a chance. It's like I'll go give it a chance. You know what? I've said out of how many bands have we announced so far? 20 plus?
I think Hawthorne Heights was 20, I think.
They were 20, right? Out of 20 bands we've announced so far, I've disliked one.
So there's 140-ish left.
Yeah. I mean, I just like.
I mean, come on.
That's percentage is good.
Right. You can't.
That's crazy.
Can't determine how the vibe of the whole. Well, I feel it's pretty evident that the vibe is going to be that there's something for everybody, even more so this year than every other year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. No,
but I just think it's very difficult for someone to look at what we have so far and be like, this is like determine how the whole festival is going to be based off of a handful of artists.
Right.
When the vast majority haven't even been released yet.
No,
and
I agree.
At the top, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I do want to kind of talk about that, in a minute. 22. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I mean, out of 22 bands, I just like one. I think my percentage is good. I'm gonna like the majority of bands here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, bands are in your favor.
Some of these guys, like they're not like my style or whatever, but it's other people's style. You know what I mean? So like I can't gatekeep music and be like, well, they're not announcing exactly who I want, so this sucks. You know what I mean? Like that's good for someone else. So
yeah,
that's one of the things about Blue Ridge that just I think continues to show is it's so much more than just the bands. It's so much more than just any one particular thing about the festival. It's all of it. It's the people, it's the environment that it creates, it is the music. It's absolute, don't get me wrong, it is absolutely the music, but the entire experience is, I don't know, it broadens with each band that's getting announced, and you can tell what it's going to foster there on site. Like the excitement is just going to be uncontrollable. I can't wait.
Yeah, well, and then you get like a good mix of people too with all this different music. Like one of my best friends, Todd, he's like 85 years old, you know what I mean? And I'm 30 and we're going to the same fest. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Stone as 85. I mean, that was kind of harsh.
Something like that, wasn't it? I can't remember the exact age. I don't think that I'm too far off though.
That's wrong. That's so wrong.
No, I will say that like Todd hangs better than I do at festivals. Maybe because he's got more experience, but like, man,
probably.
I can't do it. By the third day, I'm grumpy. You guys are true soldiers that are out there camping and doing all. I couldn't do it.
I can't either. I mean, it's hard enough to carry around gear that's like about 10 to 12 pounds of stuff, for.
I'm not even carrying around gear.
Walking too.
Like, ugh, and the heat, I'm like, ugh, I hate this so much.
Yeah.
That's why I've always had a love-hate relationship with festivals. I just don't like being uncomfortable, I guess. You know what I mean? I'm such a diva when it comes to venues, but like these people literally camp for like 5 days straight, drinking the whole time, getting up like 7 o'clock in the morning, staying up
to your
till like
campers,
2
man.
o'clock. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how you guys do. I agree.
I'm
I don't know how the
impressed.
campers do it. Kudos to you for.
It's a
You know,
marathon. You
it is
just
a
got to do it.
marathon.
It's
I
a,
know.
it's a marathon. You got to know how to do it, and it is an adrenaline rush and then some. Now, I'm the one that, like, a couple hours every night of sleep, and somehow I'm waking up every day like, let's just go, let's do this.
Well, yeah,
Because
and I
can
can do
go
that if like
after
I'm in
the
a
festival,
hotel.
and it's like 6 months to recoup. But those 4 or 5 days of being there, it's amazing.
I don't know. Y'all are
Not my
so
thing,
nuts.
but that's okay. Good for
Yeah,
you guys.
and
We're,
that's
we're gonna
again,
hope that.
like we're talking about the bands. Camping's not my thing. Some people, that's all in the experience for them. You know what I mean? Like that's
Exactly.
Yeah,
the whole
and we're
scenery
gonna try it
aspect.
at some point to get find a time where we can get Todd on with us, because I know he works a different shift than normally what we do, but to get him on with us to talk about camping, so that you can get an overview of it, of what it's like, and what to expect, and tips and
Well,
tricks
I
and stuff like that. So
remind everybody too, though, go read the FAQs because some of it has changed because it's a new venue this year. The campsite, like it used to be able to have 6 people and it's down to 4 people and things like that. And as people purchased and didn't read, and now they're coming and asking and emailing like, why was this changed? Why was that changed? And not really understanding. So definitely
new
read
venue.
through that too.
Yeah, so you want to go to blueridgerockfest.com/camping-FAQ to get all of your details on the camping FAQ. So basically, what are the check-in hours? When do they close? How many people can camp together? All those details. So if you are camping and you haven't looked yet, please go there and check it out, because as Amanda said, remember, we're at a new venue this year. So you do want to make sure you're aware, because things have changed. So please go check that out. And in general, if you want general FAQ, there's an FAQ there as well that's under the blueridgerockfest.com/general-FAQ. And that will all, offer your general information like, is moshing and crowd surfing allowed? When does the parking lot open? What time do gates open? Blah, blah, blah. So definitely go check out the website for those information. Be informed. And please, and this is the big thing too, I want to talk about real quick. Please go read the details on what you are allowed and not allowed to bring onto the venue site for the festival. This happens every year at every festival, that people don't read these and check out whatever, and then you show up at the gate and the security's like, I'm sorry, you can't bring that in here, and then people have a ballistic spat about it. Don't be that person. If you didn't prepare yourself and you didn't know by not looking, that's not their fault, that's on you. So please don't let that happen. Make sure you're well prepared and aware of what you're allowed to bring and not. And if you have concerns about certain things, I know it says it can't do this, but I have a certain exception to something, I'm assuming, like, reach out to the customer service, email, and, contact the festival about that would be best bet.
Yeah, you can,
Yeah.
the festival Facebook page, Instagram, DM.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but
email.
please, but be prepared, and just look in advance. Don't be caught off guard. I know the majority of people who come to festivals are usually pretty good about that. But this is your first time. If you've never been to a festival and you're making Blue Ridge your very first festival, number one, congrats to you on that. I like that idea. And number two, just make sure you're aware of what's going on. Make sure you understand what are the rules, what are the expectations, especially about behavior, which I can't even say if there is expectations about behavior. But it's just like, be aware of the security guidelines, be aware of the times that things open and close, and where you're parking. And especially if you're camping and you've never done it before, especially at this new venue, just read the FAQs, just be well informed as best you can. And if you're not sure about something and you can't find in the FAQ, and you can reach out to Blue Ridge, you can also ask someone in the fan zone. Maybe someone actually happens to know. And if they don't, but I'll still always say, go ask the official source first. And
I got to add one more piece to that, because it's great that people are asking questions. It's great that people are reading, but show a little bit of compassion, patience, kindness to one another. Nobody needs to be jumping down each other's throats because a question's been asked before. Scroll on. You don't need to get in tizzy because it's taken a little while to get a response. There's a good chance that because this is a new venue, it might take a little bit to get a firm answer one way or another. So just asking that everybody shows each other a little bit of compassion, kindness, patience. It goes a long way. Amanda, again, I think I've been saying this since Bernard and I have started these publicly. Thank you. I don't know how you, Todd, and the other admins and moderators are doing what you do with all the questions that come in, but you guys are doing a great job, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. The mods are really, really, really helpful. It's made a huge difference this year to have more people in the fan zone actually doing that stuff. And, we kind of wanted Todd had expressed that he wanted the fan zone to get back to what the fan zone felt like before, where it was less of a Q&A type thing. So like, yeah, you can ask your questions in there and stuff. People will answer them and share information, but it was like people were posting there specifically like trying to get me to answer a question. It's like, just shoot that to the email or the Facebook page. Like, that's me. I'll answer that over there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like try to cut down on the personal DMs to people, because a lot of the times the closer we get to the festival, especially, I will get upwards of 30 DMs, like, no exaggeration. That's probably on the lower end the closer we get to the festival. So I have chosen this year personally not to answer any questions in DMs, and I just have people go over there because it's just easier to deal with. We have like little labels that I can use and keep track of, different questions and things that I might not be so sure about, but I can follow back up with them rather than losing them on the fan zone or in like my personal inbox.
Yep. Good call. That's right. Christina, I think she's one of your moderators, correct, for the fan zone?
She is, yeah.
Says that the FAQs are updated constantly as we get closer to the fest. So if an answer isn't there now, we'll be up there later at some point. Probably as we get closer, right? To you're closer to the festival, then they'll.
Thank you for that, Christina.
Yes, thank you much. Appreciate you for that. So, Amanda, am I allowed to put you on the spot about something?
Depending. I've eaten my pizza now, so I'm not as angry anymore. So
I'm glad to hear it. People have asked, so I'm going to ask the question: when are we getting a headliner?
Yeah, I don't know. I've
Well,
asked Jonathan the same question. Because it's
Jonathan,
not me.
when am I getting a headliner?
Yeah, that's something you got to ask the big man. I don't know.
I just
he has
did.
this,
Is he watching?
he has this whole process, and I don't know how he does it. Like,
I don't know either. Yeah.
Stressed so many times. Like, these individual announcements are actually brutal. On him especially, because it's like you've got to plan all of this stuff around all of these bands and the specific times and this and that, and when it's okay. Oh my gosh, when it's okay to announce certain things, and like, I don't know how he keeps up with everything. Truly, I could not do it.
It's also because of tour, probably like tour announcements
Yeah,
and stuff.
and
So
that could
bands
be
can't
like
announce that stuff,
Exactly. So like if we have a headliner that's planning on announcing a tour, like they don't want you to announce before they do
Right.
that, or whatever the case may be. So you have to follow all of these different rules that all of these 169 bands have.
Yep.
So it gets, I don't know how he does it. I cannot
I
say
don't know
that.
either. But Jonathan, kudos to you, please, and thank you for all you do.
He works really, really hard. That's why I've said, like, the feedback with the individual announcements and everything like that we get, if people only understood how much more difficult it is to, like, I was up this morning on a Saturday at 8 a.m. because we had an announcement at 9.
Right.
So even on weekends, like when we're announcing, we're working, and like it kind of sucks,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. It's fun at the same time, and you guys like it, so that's why we continue.
We love it. We love it. We wouldn't, Danny and I wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now if it wasn't for these.
Yeah,
Exactly
exactly. And it's
Yeah.
fun, right? To like go through and look at all these different bands and like what they've accomplished and where they're from and everything like that. Because a lot of the times, like, you teach me stuff. I don't delve that far into bands unless I really, really dig them.
I just do the Googles. We're just two people, 3 of us now who when you show. 2 people who just like music, and who support this festival, and yeah, it is what it is. I kind of feel like, well, let me say this since we're talking about the headliners, like, I just think that people right now, they're getting more excited, as these artist announcements are coming through, and people now are starting to itch. They want one. They're looking for one, because we know there's
Passion.
multiples.
The passion is
there's
showing
multiples.
up in different ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
It's,
and there's people that'll comment and they'll be like, all right, I just need one headliner and I'm buying those tickets. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but
Man, like,
again,
I've been trying, like, not to, because like last year, I'll say this, last year when I joined the fan zone, and learned about this festival and helping to promote it and, doing interviews with bands and stuff like that, like, I was excited to like speculate on things. I love like just throwing out guesses of like who I think was going to be next, or who I think was coming
I
up.
love to watch people do that. They'll like literally sit there and they have everyone's tours, and they're like, well, this band's going to be in the area,
Yes.
and it's so
Yeah.
fun to watch people do it.
It's passion. I mean, that's what it is. It's the passion. But I've stopped doing that this year because I think I stopped doing it because we're doing these, because I don't want to feel like I'm leading anyone on. Like I'm speculating things because I know something. I know nothing. I know nothing. Amanda knows everything, and she can't tell me. And honestly, and all right, let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say this thing real quick. Somebody said to me, at one point in time, they're like, like, oh, would you want the lineup? And I was like, there's a part of me that wants to be like, yeah, I'd like to see it. But at the same time, like, no, I don't. And I really realize, like, as I'm doing these live streams, I don't want it. I want to be surprised as much as everyone else is being surprised when they see these, except for you, Amanda.
I miss being surprised. I miss it. Because
like,
it's fun, right?
I don't want the lineup. Don't give it
videos.
to me. If for some reason that lineup leaks, like, I will say this, and I mean this really seriously. If someone for some reason in some way has a copy of that lineup that is not part of a Blue Ridge Rock Festival staff, and it gets leaked, kill it. I am dead serious. Do not ruin this for anyone else who wants to be surprised by who's coming out there. Because the moment
no hard feelings, Papa Roach. We still love you. We absolutely adore you.
I was not going there, but no, I'm dead serious about this though. Do not ruin this for everyone else. Seriously, don't, because you have 35,000 people that are in the fan zone, plus who knows how many other people that are not in the fan zone who are dying to just see the anticipation of the next band announcement and waiting for the next one and waiting for the next one until Blue Ridge Official decides, okay, now it's time to drop the entire lineup. Don't ruin that for other people. Don't be that person.
And you got to remember, right? Everybody is going through so much right now. We're coming out of this pandemic. There's stuff going on across the globe. We are all stressed, burnt out in our own ways, carrying a fuller plate than ever. And there's a lot of people that this is what's carrying them forward.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know there's going to be another announcement. I need this. And now I have something to incrementally look forward to. And that's huge. That's absolutely huge. And so to play into that and see these announcements roll out this way, I think is just that much more exciting.
I agree. And honestly, last year, the line, it wasn't just Papa Roach, man. It was like 3 or 4 different bands. And we're just
not naming names.
We were just screaming, because it was so heartbreaking to watch it get finally all this build up, and then the last few bands, it was like, okay, here it is. Here's the whole thing. This is exactly what you all have been waiting for. And we didn't get to put it out. It was heartbreaking because we love to see the feedback every day. When we do artist announcements, I'll sit on socials and feel out the vibe, they love this. And I'm so stoked that they're so stoked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I do.
We get just as excited.
I'm not a fan of the spoilers. For anything, I'm not a fan of spoilers. Don't tell me what happened in the last episode of this. Don't tell me what happened in this movie. Just don't tell me. I don't want to know. If I want to know, I'll go watch it myself. And it's just it burns me up because, we all know there are websites that are out there. There are Facebook groups that are out there that are itching at the bit for any type of leaked information about anything, especially in the music industry, because they want to, and no, I'm not saying this in a bad way because that's their choice to do that. But there are some that just feel like I'll get 1 million hits if I drop this now, and I just happen to get a hold of it. I don't want to see it. Personal opinion.
Same idea behind paparazzi. They get that one good picture. They're like, oh, this is gonna break newsstands. That's just
right. No, I get that. Yeah. I mean, it's just that I just don't we're so early in. It's that's the last thing. So if anyone's out there and you hear wind of it or something, let the Blue Ridge staff know at least, because they could go kill it if they need to. Go talk to somebody to stop it. Please just don't be that person. Just don't. All right, I'm off my soapbox.
I broke the fan zone again. It's fun, and I'm tired of pretending that it's not at this point. Every time I post, they're like, it's Bad Flower. It's guys. Yes, I love my Bad Flower.
Never heard of them.
Never a day in my life. I've not heard of them either. But not everything that I post relates to Bad Flower. And I will post. So I've been listening to the band to different bands. I'm trying to get into different bands or whatever. I told you I'm in like the metal thing, and like Spotify will pop up like with your recommended bands and things like that. I will post like a music video of a band that I just like on my personal page, and people are like, and I'm like, no, like we're not in the fan zone. I'm not dropping hints. I'm not. I just really like this music video or this song, whatever the case may be. It's really funny. Like I said, they do the same thing with headliners, just trying to watch people like connect dots anywhere they can. Like,
Yeah.
Yesterday they were like, because another one of my big favorite bands is Highly Suspect, and people were like, it's highly suspect that you're commenting in here right now.
Like, they'd be a good addition.
I adore them. I adore them. But
yeah, they'd be good.
I think you're absolutely right though, and I'll be the first to admit I love trolling posts where I'm gonna find the most absolutely insane connection and turn it into a conspiracy theory that this is who's gonna come. So like I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna throw those comments out there, and they're gonna be in left field.
I told Danny before we started doing this, I had jokingly said I should just start a rumor of like in the fan zone about something of like a headliner that was coming, and just said I like something like I just heard that so and so is going to be a headliner, and just watch people go ballistic.
Oh, I know. I have to hold back all the time.
I won't do that. That'd be
people
cool.
Take me too seriously if I say things. Like if I talk about it, because I've name dropped. I didn't even want to like name drop the band that I put up the other day that like someone was like, because I don't want people to like suddenly be like, oh, they're gonna be there.
Right.
Getting into them, you know what I mean? Like I have to be so careful, and it sucks because I love music so much. But yeah, if you see me posting things, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're there. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're not there. Okay, you'll find out when you find out.
Stop it, Doug.
With 169 bands, there is bound to be some decent chances and some chances that are just straight out of hell. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'll throw a dart at a board with just random names and just say, "Hey, I heard
people
so and
do it." I'm telling you, it's so funny. Like it is. Like I don't know how they have the time. I love it though.
I don't know either. I don't have the time to troll.
Well, no, not trolling. Like last year, I legitimately mean like people were in the fan zone, like,
look at
this big band is going to be here, and then this is going to, so this rules them out, and blah, blah. And I'm like, my God, like I cannot contain that much information at one time about where all these bands are going to be.
No, I don't know either. I know someone who's been watching our live streams. Her name is Courtney. She's doing that, and she actually a Skylit Drive. She nailed it. She said right before it got announced.
I don't know how people do it.
I don't know, but she had it. She had it right on the button. She had it exactly on the button.
Like today, like there was a hint on the official page right before Eskimo Callboy, and it was like, oh, this band hasn't been in the States in 9 years. Who knows things like this? You know what I mean? If you're not like within the industry, actively like booking bands or what, well, but that's what I mean. Like I would expect him to know it, but like fans were like, I know exactly who that is, and I'm like, how? How do you know that?
Because people follow music and they're passionate about it and passionate enough to track and stuff.
Cool.
Like I don't.
It's awesome. That's why I love the fan zone so much, because it's just a ton of those people all in the same exact place.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, of course, I don't know if you can answer this question, but somebody said, Mark asked. So I don't know, Amanda, if you can say or know. He's asking about tickets being like how many? Can you even talk about our expected like attendance between last year to this year? More like, is it going to be more people potentially?
I honestly don't know.
Don't know. Sorry, Mark, we don't know.
I don't know. I know that sales apparently went really, really well when we first went on sale this year.
Oh, can we not? Let's not talk about that day.
Yeah. I know.
Leave that day alone. Yes, tickets went well.
Look, speaking of Bad Flower, they announced they went on sale for their tour the same time that we were going on sale. And I was like, how am I to do this? And I had to get someone to like purchase tickets for me.
That's awesome.
It was a whole ridiculous fiasco.
That's awesome. Love it.
But no, I'm not sure about the attendance and all that stuff. I'm not really in those meetings. So
no, it's fine. Just
I'm sure John will talk about it.
Thank you for the question, though. Seriously,
yeah, for sure.
That's one of the reasons that we're trying to do this, right? We're generating the conversations to keep on coming through. So if you have questions, throw them our way. We'll try to field them, and if not, we'll try to throw them to the people that might be able to throw an answer out there, Miss Amanda, and we'll just
I don't
go from
mind
there.
answering questions. That's literally 90% of my job.
Yeah. Doug said if they announced a headliner, it would sell out. I think the festival would sell out. And Doug, I don't know if I fully agree. I think you're right. I think more ticket sales would probably happen if we got a decent headliner drop to make people, want to go. And I'm telling people right now, those thousands of people watch at some point whenever you watch this, I'm telling you right now, do not wait on this. Do not wait on your tickets. If you haven't bought them yet, I'm going to give you 2 simple reasons as to why. Number 1, tickets are tiered. Every festival does this, that a certain grouping of tickets are in a certain level at a certain price. It goes up once those tickets in that tier are gone, prices increase. Buy now before that happens. Save yourself some money, right? Number 2, the moment that if we have not sold out by the time the full lineup drops, the moment that happens, the festival will be gone.
Yeah, last year I think we sold out. Last year, I think once the ad mat was dropped, it was like 3 days.
Yeah, not even. I don't even think it was even that. It was crazy, but it was gone. Yeah, that festival sold.
And
so don't
this
wait.
Festival will sell out.
I predicted it on the first. I think on the first one we talked about it will. I have no doubt in my mind it will. I'd be shocked if it didn't. I'd be absolutely shocked if it didn't. So yeah, don't wait.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he could decide to release a headliner tomorrow. I have no clue. You know what I mean? It's just, it's his process and it's how he does things. And he comes to me and he's like, hey, this is what we're doing today and tomorrow and blah, blah. And I'm like, got it. Okay. I am prepared.
I'm excited.
But I mean, I think it definitely will pick up traction once headliners get dropped, I think.
Yeah, I think Doug's right with that.
Yeah, and the bigger, like you were talking about the website earlier, you can go on and see where everyone sits in the lineup order, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I
see
mean?
Lacey all the way down at the bottom. It made me sad, but I get it. It's like I
yeah,
understand.
but it's like if you look, there's not many that have been released that are up near the top.
Not even not even close.
Yeah, so
I'm excited. I can't wait. Can't wait to see these.
I'm excited too.
This is good stuff.
Sometimes I forget like who's booked. And then I like see the name and I'm like, oh man, I forgot all about them. I'm so stoked to see them if I can see them. But like it's names that like people have been like in the fan zone talking about a lot and like things like that. And you'll be like, oh, I forgot all about them. They're gonna be so excited.
Yeah. It's like to me, it's not a gripe. I want to see more bands announced that were not at Blue Ridge last year. That's my preference.
There's more.
I'm sure there's a ton of them. It's just that I want to see, but we've been seeing so many repeats already of like bands that were there. So I'm just kind of like, I want more new. A Suicide Silence dropped. I was like, that's cool. Fit for an Autopsy drop. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's like
Callboy, Kitty, Lacey
there's
Sturm, Ginger. Nonpoint couldn't be there last year.
They were supposed to be. They were supposed to be.
So I'm just saying, like,
I feel like a lot of the ones that have been released haven't been there or haven't been there. Like Mayfire was there in 2019, but not last year.
Bernard's got some blinders on, and you know what? We'll let him have his blinders on for a moment.
One this evening, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I don't know if this is even accurate. I can't remember the full lineup from last year either, because they're all just jumbling in my brain. But I don't think that they were there either.
The next one coming?
Jonathan, don't fire me. 6 p.m.
You can say that. That was announced. That time was announced. That's fine. 6 p.m. is the next announcement. So for today on Saturday.
Yeah.
So just
Eastern.
Yeah.
Eastern.
Right.
So Courtney,
Eastern
while
time.
you're enjoying your Mardi Gras, it's Eastern time.
So, and remember, if you want to see the officials, right, it's the Blue Ridge Rock Festival Facebook page, and then also on the website, blueridgerockfest.com/lineup. That's where you get to see these. So yeah, check those out for sure. Doug is asking about Tool. Why would he be asking about Tool?
Because of your shirt.
This
Perhaps.
is not a head, people. I swear to God, it is not. Don't even look at that. We're
Bernard
not
will
starting
do
something.
laundry at some point between now and one of our future live streams and be able to
I
wear
wore
the
my-
photo pitch shirts again.
I wore it yesterday. Wore a photo pitch shirt yesterday.
You
It's 'cause
didn't
you
go
were
live
working. You
yesterday.
weren't on the
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
How are they to
wanted-
know that you wore a photo pitch
You know,
shirt?
you know what it is too? You know what it is too? I have so many concert shirts. That's so many.
That's
it's
like,
like I
I
feel-
literally have so many Blue Ridge shirts at this point that like that's half of my wardrobe.
Okay,
There
I'm
was
gonna
someone
have
that
to,
came up.
I
There
have
was
to admit
someone that
something.
came up to me while I was out shopping, and I had a Blue Ridge shirt on, and they were like, "Oh, you went to Blue Ridge," and I was like, "Yeah, something like that." But it's wild. Like people will just run up to you. I see them all the
It is
time
a
when I go to
great
concerts.
conversation starter. I
It really is.
absolutely
I see them
love
all the time when I go to concerts. When I took my son to Bad Flower the week after Blue Ridge last year, there were two people in front of us that had the Blue Ridge lineup shirts on, and he tapped me and he was like, "Look, Mom," and I was like, "Yeah." Like he's 10, so he doesn't realize like how many people. I've never taken him to a festival, so he cannot fathom that like people come from all over the country to Virginia for this festival that we work on.
Yeah.
So it's cool when you go to shows and you see those shirts and like you're not in the same state and things like that.
I have to admit, and I say this out of kind of sadness now, but I don't have one. I need
You
to
didn't
get
get
one. No, I
Get
didn't.
one. Get you one. I got mine.
I need to get one.
I have two.
So, I didn't get one because, well, you know why. I kind of want to talk about that for a second. I want to take it maybe in a kind of serious note, because we talked so much about mental health, the other day, and we're discussing about the festival and what the festival means to people and all this stuff. And last year in 2021, because in 20, I'll tell you kind of a little bit story. And this is a personal thing, so I'm sharing with anyone who's watching. When concerts stopped in 2020 in March, the last show I had shot was Overkill. And when concerts stopped, like literally the next day or the day after, I had another show to do. And then when the announcement started coming through, like the country was kind of locking down, and I contacted the PR person. I was like, "Is this show still on?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then hours later, called, texted me back and said, "No,
Yeah.
it's off. We're done." I was like,
Dude,
"Okay, I get it."
everything shut down,
Right.
and it was so what. Same thing happened with like the schools. My
Yeah,
son's school, it was like 3 days, and it's boom, you can't go back to school for the rest of the year. I was like, wait, what?
Right. Yeah. And it's just, and I was watching just like, all the cancellations of tours and all this. And it's like, it was crazy. But the reason why this hit me so bad is the fact that, music fuels my soul. I say this all the time. And the fact of not being able to go to a show killed me.
Dude, that year sucked.
Literally headspace killed me, right? And then the fact that the photo pit itself, like the actual website, for those of you, I know like you've been following here on the Facebook page, go hit my site once in a while, please. I'd appreciate it. Photopit.com.
Yeah, he writes really good articles.
But the thing is that the site suffered hard. It showed me how much that the actual tours meant to people who came visit my site, that's what people were coming for. Nobody seemed to care about a new music video or a new album. They cared about show reviews. They wanted to see photos. They wanted to hear my opinion on a tour that I went to go and review. And when that all stopped, my site died. I mean, almost literally. Like, really, that's how bad it got, right? So April 2021, I actually got to shoot another show. It was Machine Gun Kelly, which I actually had a really good time with them. I loved it. I had fun. I know a lot of people are not fans of his music. I enjoyed it. He was very entertaining. And when the moment I was able to kind of share that news again, things like started perking up. I was like, wow, now I see this is really what people want. So then little by little, shows started coming back. When Blue Ridge got announced and with the amount of bands that were there, to me, right, I had vacations I normally do, I canceled or were canceled because of COVID, right, that couldn't be attended. Things that I normally would do, I couldn't do. And when Blue Ridge was in my sights, that was supposed to be for me like my mental health release, that festival.
I think a lot of people felt that way too.
It was. I think a lot of people felt that. So when we ran into those hiccups and things that happened, that's why, and how passionate I was about things that happened. And there were some things that happened that I can't talk about. And it's not a it's not something that the festival did, it's nothing like that, but there are just things that were other people's stories that I was told that, and like I said, these were no faults of the festival, like whatsoever, but things that people had talked to me about there at the festival. And I was in such a bad headspace because of like a lot of these hiccups that it put blinders on me to not want to come back to Blue Ridge in 2022, because that's how like I felt like I didn't get the release I was hoping for. I didn't get that thing I was just craving for. That like musically I got everything I wanted, photography wise I got everything I wanted, but just these little things and nuances that just really kind of put a damper on my life for this. And it wasn't really that bad, but my headspace was telling me different, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just like, for myself personally, like I switched careers to come to the music industry, right? This is something that I always wanted to do when I was younger and I had children, and I was like, well, nursing is probably more practical. Let's just do that, because the music scene in Virginia, it's not like in New York, for example, where you have tons of venues and, you drive, like, where did you have to drive? I think the other day, it was like 3.5 hours, you said?
Who,
For
me?
darn. Yeah. So it wasn't like, so you're spending like 6
hours.
hours on the road.
Where was I going? I was 6 hours on the road, not
I
recently.
can't remember. You had said something about it. I thought maybe you had said that yesterday, but I'm probably mistaken.
Nope.
But anyway, when you end up doing that, like you can't, like one of my friends, she's from Jersey, and she could go to like a Jersey date, New York, this, that, and it's all like, for me to get to Baltimore, for example, it's like 4 hours. So you're driving 8 hours there and back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just not practical really in Virginia. And so with this festival, I took a big jump, a big leap of faith, and I was like, all right, cool. And this was my first festival ever, right? So like all this build up, all this hype, everything that we're working very, very hard to do, and then people start to show up and they're unhappy and they're inconvenienced, and like the other things were going wrong. And even myself, I was like, oh, man, you know what I mean? Like you feel kind of deflated, and I think everyone on the team did, so it was universal for sure. In that respect. And again, it's like some of the things weren't even like, I don't know. I don't even know how to really describe it.
The things you couldn't control.
Frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
things
was
you couldn't control. Right. So with that in mind, right, when I walked out of Blue Ridge, last year, my intent was I would not come back this year because of everything that I dealt with last year. And you and I had some very personal conversations about that. And I was very kind of mind space blinders in that sense of things that happen, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, for me, what I want to share here is that after kind of like sitting back, right, and understanding all the things that happened and listening to Jonathan's, videos and watching his videos and the posts that he put up and everything about it, the one thing I kind of sat there and I said, and especially, and this was the fact too, in the fan zone of how many people love that festival, even with everything that happened, how much people were like, this festival was awesome. And when I sat back and really thought about it, I said, were there inconveniences? Yes. But was it really that bad? Maybe not. I know there were people who suffered a lot more with certain things than I did on certain stuff, and stuff I know that, was just horrible to hear. And though people who got stuff fixed and compensated, and, I just sat there and said, like, this really wasn't as bad as it could have been. But you know what? The reason why I want to come back this year is that I know that this team, and people with Jonathan and you and everyone else, is trying to make this 10 times better than it was last year, and really are dedicated to doing it. And I see this already. I can tell. I get a view. I get a vibe.
A ton.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. And the thing is, anyone who was watching who was there last year who kind of felt in the same way I felt. I mean, because that's the reason I didn't see a t-shirt, to be honest. I felt so angry about it. It was stupid. I shouldn't have felt that way, and it's like, man, it's like, this really wasn't as bad, but I could see already now that how much this team is putting effort into making this like so much better than last year. And everything that happened last year really wasn't, it was just, it was circumstances. Some of the stuff wasn't your fault. I get that, but yeah, it's like,
though, to not like, and I'm not, obviously, like, people are going to be like, she's biased, she works for the festival, that's not it at all. But just like the music industry shut down seemingly overnight, it started right back up seemingly overnight as well.
Overnight,
So
yeah.
you have things that fans don't really think about that I never really thought about before was like, okay, if you've got all these festivals going on at like the same time, there's like everyone's got to have stages. So now you're
Yeah.
fighting, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like there weren't enough crew in certain like
Nope.
you're dealing with
Yeah.
short staff there, just
Yeah.
like everywhere else. You know what I mean? So it was like a lot of things that you're just like, what can you do? You know what I mean? Like it
No,
was just
I do.
insane.
I know exactly what you mean, and that's the thing. It's like
And again,
my
I don't
message-
know how much I can speak on it, so I don't
No, I
want
get
to,
it.
but
Yeah,
you know
I
what
get
I
it.
mean?
Yes, I do. No, I do. But my message on this was that, if if you were here last year and you went through things that you were just like disappointed in what happened and disappointed in things that you saw, put that aside and give it a chance. Because I always believe in second chances with things, if anything, and I could see like even my own experience. And like I said, I do not know behind the scenes stuff. I'm just a fan as much as everyone else is. But with that in mind, I see improvements from the get-go. From day one, I've already seen improvements. And even though I know people are going to be like, oh, but the whole e-tickets, like on ticket sale day and all, it's just, there are things that cannot be helped at times. Technology is a bee, right? Like, stuff happens, but don't let these things deter you from coming to this festival, because I'm telling you now, this festival is going to sell. This festival is going to be huge. And I think in my heart, I truly believe that, cross fingers, as long as I'm there, that it is going to be 10 times better than last year, and everyone will have a very good time. And you know what? Even when everything is running smooth, people still run into issues. That's just par for the course. Things happen. But I still feel that this is going to be so much better than next year. And I had to get out of my own headspace to say, than last year, but I had to get out of my own headspace to see that. That's the thing,
I don't want to speak for the festival, but just for myself personally, from everything that I am very much aware that we are the underdogs right now, the underdog kids, you know what I mean? It's an independent festival and stuff like that. And for me, I view this year, and I think other people do, but I don't want to speak for them, as a redemption year. And you know what I mean? So it's like we're making absolute sure that everything that happened is fixed, and making things better. And you know what I mean? Like, look at the venue. This venue is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think, you know what I mean? So there's been a lot of needed changes in areas. And like I was talking about the FAQs earlier, I keep getting questions because last year, and I think the years before, we allowed people to drop off RVs. And so I think there were some problems with that. And so unfortunately, one of the things that we had to implement this year is that that's not going to be allowed. And people are unhappy about it. And I understand where they're coming from. But these are some of the things that we were trying to correct that made, things difficult last year. And so it might seem a little restrictive and things like that, but I just think that this festival grew so big so quick from being in a vineyard to where it is now, that it cannot be ran the way that it was when it was in a vineyard and it was on a much scale. You know what I mean? So that some of the rules and stuff might take people by surprise and they might not like them, but overall, I think the rules are implemented so that it's a better experience for everybody and we don't run into issues like that.
Right. I agree.
So we ask that just people be patient. You know what I mean? Like, I know some of them it's like, I can't drive an RV, you know what I mean? So like, I get it. I get why you would want that. But again, we're just trying to cut down on some things that we saw that were issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely get it. So, patience, courteous, kindness. Yeah, if you run into something that you're having concerns, questions about, email customer service about it. They'll get your questions answered. But please, like I said this like 3 or 4 live streams ago, right? Patience, courteous, kindness. That's going to get you far better than anger and hate. And that's why I had to drop out of, when we talked about Blue Ridge last year. I had to get out of that mind space. It's done and over. But I wanted to share my story, at least with fans, so they kind of saw where I'm coming from with this fest. If with all the things that I dealt with last year, if I still believe in this festival to be something great, I believe it's really going to be something. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't be doing these live streams if that was the case. If I didn't believe that Blue Ridge was not going to be something huge in 2022. Yeah, because I think it is. I really think it is. Now, if we only had a headliner, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I can put the bug in his ear, but like I said, he's got his own little process, and I don't quite know how it works. He
I
just
know.
tells me,
Jonathan,
"Here you
please,
go."
a headliner. Please. Please, just one. It could be the lower end headliner. I'm something.
Bernard's
Just
just like,
something.
"Give me the Thursday headliners. I don't care."
I don't care. Care. All I want, you know what I want to know though? If I get approved for media, can I come to the camping pre-party that's on if it's not a camper from media? That's all I want to know. I'm just
Um,
saying.
I think we had photographers there last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the rule what didn't exist last year that you had to be a
Right, the rule
camper.
didn't
So I
exist
don't know.
last year. All I know is that if I get
That's
to
an
do media
interesting
this year,
question. I'll try to get an answer for that.
all right. If I get to do media this year, I know I'll regret it because I'm hoteling. You know, I already have a hotel book. But if I do media this year, I want to shoot one of the club experiences. That's all I'm saying.
The club experience was a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
thought.
I want to do one of the club experiences. That's it. That's all I say. Because I want something different in my repertoire of music to shoot. So, I haven't done hip hop yet. Be fun.
Really? You've not
Wherever it
done
may
any?
be.
Well, you
Assuming
did
it's hip hop, I'm assuming
MGK.
it is. Say again.
You did MGK, but like he's kind of changed a
Yeah,
lot
that's
over the years. Like
yeah. You
I
see, and
saw him when he was a rap artist still, and not he hadn't released any of his
rock stuff.
the tickets to my downfall. He hadn't done any of that, so it was strictly rap.
Yeah.
But you
So
haven't
I
done
guess
any hip hop artists? That's
no,
surprising.
not a one. I'm a rock and metal guy primarily. I mean, I've done some pop artists before, but I mean, it's mostly rock and metal. So
Huh.
but this is what I loved about the Blue Ridge lineup last year. So much variety of stuff. So
Oh
I had so
yeah,
many
even
things
in
to choose from.
2019. 2019 is when I think he really started to try and introduce like hip hop acts.
X,
DMX was there, Jelly Roll was there,
Tech
Tech
Nine.
Nine, Yellow Wolf, was he there? I
I mean,
think he was.
I didn't
Yeah.
get to do like at some other festival. I didn't get to do Hero the Hero or Hiro the Hero because I missed out on that particular set, but I would have.
Set.
Yeah.
But even still, that's still more rock in a sense. Like Fever 333 is still kind of more rockish than rap. I mean, I'd love to do a true hip hop artist.
I'm gonna throw this one out there, and you'll laugh at me because my professional photography experience is rather subpar to professional level. But back when I was taking disposable cameras into festivals, some
old,
15, 16 years ago, I got some shots of Wu-Tang at a big festival.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. Shut up.
So I'm gonna have to dig those out and share those just
cool.
because.
I have always wanted to see Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, let me take a look here. Megan said she spent a lot of money on this festival. She didn't think it was going to work out. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this fest is going to be great. I'm still so super excited for all the artist announcements as we go, and I love it. I just love it.
I would say on that note, let's probably give it till Monday. Shoot me all you want. I'll own it.
We're gonna do it tomorrow.
I'm gonna say we do this on Monday.
You are a pain in my butt.
Some of us like to spend time with our families, Bernard.
Why do I want to spend time with my family? I'm waiting for my wife to throw something at me from behind the screen.
So we'll see how many announcements drop between now and tomorrow. We may pop on for a quick one. If not, we'll hit them all on Monday.
We're gonna end up with 7 because if the rate that they're going now, there's still 1 today. There'll probably be 3 tomorrow. If there's any Sunday, there'll probably be 3 more, and then Monday will probably be another 3. So if we do that's fine. We'll just end up with 7. So to go through, which that's okay. I'm okay with that. That's fine because it's just it is. But when people were asking for us to do this, I was gonna say, is there anyone who's
what time are you guys wanting to go live on Monday?
Say again.
What time are you guys wanting to go live Monday?
I like doing earlier than later because I have a kid that I try to get in bed by 9. So if we do it 8, that's usually my preference. If we can, Danny's the one who gives me the stinker on the time. So,
Yeah, I might not be able to join then because I've got, I'll have my little one and he goes to bed at 8, but I'll try to pop on.
You can pop on later. It's fine. If we do 8, we'll let you know. We appreciate you having you here. That's all.
We really do. We really do. And for the viewers that have hung out with us again today, thank you. We'll make sure that we keep everybody posted. Keep an eye on the socials, on the photo pit, on the threshold, on the fan zone. We'll make sure everybody knows when we're doing this again.
Does anyone have any questions before we sign off for the day? Anything about the festival? Anything at all?
Mike's got some horns, so rock on to you too, brother.
He's one of the mods too. Mike's awesome.
Yeah,
Maybe one day you can bring on some of the
hell out
mods because, like, honestly, they're super passionate about music too. They have some real. We have a mod and admin chat, and they're forever in there talking about music. I'm like, guys, I cannot read through 50 pages of shows that you want to go through right now and keep up with this.
I know. The I do want to say, okay, so a quick note. I've been getting friend requests from people regarding, you know, because we've been doing this, and as much as I truly appreciate the fact that you want to connect with me, I'm usually very particular about my Facebook on who I do and do not connect with. So please don't be insulted if I don't accept your friend request, because that's just, you know, I have a family, I have kids, I'm big on privacy with them, and trying to keep it limited as much as I can, you know. So I mean, if we haven't had real interaction and talking and conversations, that's different. I mean, I made friends with people through the fan zone. That's how I met Amanda, was through the fan zone. You know, we became good friends because of that. And it's like, you know, we didn't know each other. I never met her until we got to Blue Ridge. Until I got to Blue Ridge.
Honestly, it was a miracle that we met at Blue Ridge. You were walking to a stage to photograph, and I was running in the opposite direction back to the office.
Same thing
and
with
I was
Danny.
Like, wait, hold on, that's Bernard.
Yep, it was the same thing with Danny too. That's how we ended up meeting. I mean, we met through the fan zone, and we actually met in person at, you know, at one of the stages. So it's just,
which is,
you know,
always fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I mean, like I said, please don't get me wrong. It's just like, if we really don't know each other in any way, shape, or form, I'm more than likely not going to accept it. It's just that I'm very particular about my own Facebook and who I have and not have. I actually trim my Facebook friends pretty frequently because I realize I know, like,
I mean, every time that we add like mods or anything, people will try to add them as well. Yeah, and I mean, it's cool. Like, I have some people from the friend zone. My God. The fan zone.
That's what it is. It's become the friend zone.
I have some people, but yeah, I quickly realized, like, I cannot have like 2,000 people over here on my Facebook page.
Exactly right. That's what it is. You know, that's what it is.
Because then it ends up just turning your page into a mini fan zone.
Yes, and I don't need that. I need my page to be my page to keep in touch with my friends and stuff that's going on. So, but please don't take offense by that if you send me a friend request. If you want to message me, feel free to message me and we'll chat. I can chat. You know, I'm okay with that. But you know, if we just don't, you know, we don't have like real interaction, just randomly toss one over the wall, it's probably getting ignored. I'm sorry. Don't mean to be rude about it. That's just my thing. I just don't want people like wondering like, well, why you never accepted it? That's just why.
You know, I always worry about that too. Why you used to, you know what I mean? Because I don't want anyone to feel like I don't want to interact with them. You know what I mean? But it's like,
shoot me. Yeah, if you want to talk to me, shoot me a chat message. More than happy to chat. You know, if
as long as I have time to, I can do that.
Yeah, you can feel free to drop me a DM.
People, like, I remember so many names from the fan zone. So I definitely do not mind like having conversations with people either, but it does get overwhelming the amount of friend requests.
Yeah, well, you're in a position that's a little different, so you know.
It doesn't matter. Like, even the mods, like I said, when they became mods, like, you know, people think you're cool or whatever from what you post in the fan zone, and they want to add you on your Facebook page and stuff. You're not cool. I know that I had that conversation today with the mods because someone suggested like a meet and greet booth for Todd. And then someone threw my name in there and they were like, bring him in. And I was like, absolutely no. You know what I mean? I will not.
No, I know what you mean.
I have social anxiety. I'm funny on Facebook. You know what I mean? It's fine, but like
in person it's different.
Yeah, it's just like I just don't want to be bombarded like that. So
I understand.
I don't know how Todd does it. He's like super, super cool about it.
I'm hoping to see him when he comes down. He comes down here for Earth birthday, so I'm hoping to catch him then.
Yeah. Anytime
I'll meet him outside of Blue Ridge. That's funny. So.
Anytime you see him at the festival, though, like he's always surrounded by people that are like talking to him and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
But
some people do it.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Last year, Under normally when I shoot a festival, if I'm at a festival, most often than not, I run into a lot of people because I'm walking through the crowds. But last year, I primarily stuck to backstage because it was just faster for me
Yeah,
to
it
get from
was.
stage to stage.
Same.
And I kind of missed the fact that I didn't get to interact with all the people that I chatted with through the fan zone. So hopefully this year, you know, I'll be more interactive with people if I come to the festival. I always just say that because I don't want to assume I'm coming, you know, if I'm not approved, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, no offense if I'm not. But you know, it's just I hope if I am there this year that I will get to interact with more people. I love chatting with people, you know, at the fest. I love chatting with people when I'm waiting in the pit for the band to come on. I mean,
Yeah.
you could ask a couple of people in the fan zone. I discussed with them about anything and everything from, you know, how do you get started in concert photography to, you know, just generic stuff about the bands and whatnot. I'm a talker, if you couldn't tell. So,
Me too.
yeah, I mean, feel
To a
free.
degree,
Yeah, I
though.
hope
If
to
I'm
be.
stressed, I'm just kind of like, I just want to like be by myself.
If I'm stressed, I usually, you know, keep to myself and people can see that. They'll know, like people know. But yeah, I'm hoping, you know, if I get to come this year, I want to talk to more people. I want to meet more people. I want to interact. I want selfies with people because I love that. I love just, you know, memories, you know, and having pictures of people, you know, it's a fun thing. And then everyone wants to get to meet Grim.
Somebody literally, there's a picture. I'll have to find it.
Danny's shaking his head. Danny's shaking his head about Grim.
I've got nothing, just nothing.
Grim is
I'm-
awesome.
I'm just gonna chill back here. I'm just gonna
Grim
chill.
is awesome.
That's how I noticed that it was you.
I know. See, and that's why I bring him along.
Because with the
I
masks
I
and stuff,
swear.
I was like,
I
oh, that's
swear.
Bernard.
Yeah, but that's how people, that's how I always bring them along for stuff. You would be surprised. I'll tell another story another time.
Tell them,
about
you got to
artists-
tell them what Grim is, though, because everyone's probably like, what in the world are they talking about?
Maybe we'll wait till the next live stream and I'll bring Grim on and I'll show people Grim. How about that? I'll leave that on a
But they-
teaser. I'll bring Grim to the next one.
What's
And,
funny though, like the people, like when you're, I guess like Todd, for example, me, I'm not used to it yet still because this was like my first festival working. I've been to the festival before, obviously, but like now people like know who I am from the fan zone and stuff like that. So I went and I was watching Bad Flower and I sat on like one of the little risers or whatever that the security guards will stand on to grab crowd servers, and I was just sitting there. There's a photo, someone from the crowd on the side got a photo of me sitting there watching Bad Flower, and you can like see me smiling and stuff. I'm like,
I saw you.
I was
remember
like, I asked somebody, I can't remember, Nicholas, I think. I was like, can I sit here? And he was like, sweetheart, you have the producer badge. You can go wherever you want.
Wherever you want.
I'm
sit on the
still like,
stage.
it's odd to me still. It's really funny though.
That is cool. That is cool. All right. Well, I think we've eaten up a lot of people's time, so we'll go ahead and call it a night, call it a day. Remember, 1.5 hour, 1.5, yeah, just about 1.5 hours, 6 o'clock. Next artist announcement. Danny and I, and hopefully Amanda, will be back on Monday. So we'll talk about anything that the 6 o'clock announcement for today. We'll talk about anything that comes across on Sunday. We'll talk about the band announcements on Monday, and I'll bring Grim, so people know who Grim is. And then you guys can mock me if all you want, but I'll have stories about Grim and why I bring him to any festival that I attend, and you'll completely understand. Completely. So in any case, Danny, once again, thank you. Appreciate it. Amanda, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Always
Everyone
fun
who's
to just
watched.
sit and chat about music.
Yeah, that's cool. But everyone who came to join today, thank you much. We appreciate you and your comments, and we will speak to you all again on Monday.
Hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Thanks again for hanging with us.
Have a great weekend.
Okay, bye.